Welcome everyone to One Brothas Mind with KD Smooth. In today's world, black first choices are mandatory. Choose wisely or your bondage will increase. You need all the information. This broadcast begins with my monologue and concludes with our discussion. Together, let's explore the facts, propaganda, lies, and hidden information to uncover the truth we need. Our work begins now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, back at you with a quick hitter. Actually, a story update from One Brothas Mind with KD Smooth. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Help us build our channel. We're trying to be a good information source for the B1 community. But again, a quick update on our previous story that we reported actually just yesterday. As you see on your screens, it's in regards to the restraining order out of Wisconsin, where a judge there issued a restraining order against some workers for Theta Care. It was a restraining order restricting them from accepting new jobs, new hires at a new healthcare provider, the Ascension healthcare provider. It literally restrained at-will workers, meaning you can be fired for any reason at any time, or you can quit your job for any reason at any time. It restrained those workers from accepting new jobs that they had accepted to begin working. So, real quick, I'm not going to hold you long with this one, but I do want to highlight a couple of bits of info from the report. I'm getting a report from actually MSN. I'll link the report in the description. Excuse me. In an article reported by MSN, it reads, after Ascension, Northeast Wisconsin hired 7 of Theta Care's 11-person interventional radiology and cardiovascular team who worked at Theta Care's Level 2 Trauma Stroke Center, Theta Care filed suit against Ascension. The judge, Mark McGinnis, put a temporary restraining order in place telling Ascension to make certain staff available to Theta Care to ensure critical care continued while the case continued. Again, y'all, 7 of these employees accepted new jobs at the Ascension healthcare company. And this judge, Mark McGinnis, implemented a restraining order that prevented them from starting work at Ascension because of Theta Care's lawsuit. To continue, this case continued today, this morning, Monday. It included testimony from a few of the 7 employees about why they chose to apply to work at Ascension, in addition to other testimony. After Monday's testimony, Judge McGinnis said Theta Care did not meet all 4 of the required prongs to keep the temporary injunction in place. The decision means the 7 medical workers can start immediately at Ascension, But get this, y'all. The lawsuit itself continues. Okay. Real quick, want to chop it up with y'all on this one. Excuse me. I knew that this restraining order would not stand because again, these are at-will employees working at Theta Care. Theta Care can fire them for any reason at any time, or these workers can quit for any reason at any time. That's what at-will means. So I knew what occurred with this restraining order was basically illegal. Now, you guys may read or come across other reports on this judge changing this restraining order or removing it, and they're gonna candy coat it. But in my opinion, here at One Brothas Mind, y'all, this judge literally issued a restraining order based on something that was 100% illegal. I'm going to say that again. It was 100% illegal. So I believe that after this judge did this at the end of last week, this judge caught Mr. Mark McGinnis caught hella heat because the story broke, because what was done, this restraining order, was to support something illegal. And I believe the heat that this judge caught, and I'm not talking about from the media, I'm talking about whatever type of judge this is, whether this is an elected or appointed judge or whatever the case may be. The powers that be above this judge came at his head, Mr. McGinnis' head, and was like, what are you doing? You can't issue a restraining order off of something that's an illegal act. And they literally, like I said, they came at his head, I believe, and put pressure on him. Was like, basically, you remove this first thing Monday morning and clean this up, or you're no longer a judge. Okay? That's the first point that I want to make. But yet, the judge still made some of the employees and several others go through the song and dance of issuing testimony, which is mind-boggling, in my opinion. How in the hell you gonna issue a restraining order over something that's illegal and then ask the employees why they accepted jobs, the new jobs that they applied for? And I don't know if he required or just asked or whatever for their testimony, but if it was me, oh no, I ain't saying a thing. At most, I'm pleading the fifth, and it's gonna come with a sharp French toast you on top of it, because everything about this was illegal. Okay. So these employees are free to start their jobs today or tomorrow, I guess, their new jobs, and move on. But a couple of other things that I want to point out here. One, the last note from the article on MSN is the lawsuit itself continues, meaning it's not over, y'all. So we're going to continue to follow this because there's still going to be some potential fallout from this as they move forward. And like I said, I can understand what Theta Care, what their complaint is. It's understandable. They had an 11-member team. 7 members of their 11-member cardiovascular and interventional radiology team within a few days all put in their either quit or put in their notices that they're leaving, all basically within the same short period of time. So what that's going to put Theta Care in a position where they don't have the staff to complete the care, the scheduled care in cases that they have after the date or dates that these 7 employees leave Theta Care. So now they can't meet their scheduled obligations for care in their interventional radiology and cardiovascular department. Okay? So I understand why Theta Care is upset. I get it. But at the same time, these employees are at-will employees, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Not with the employees. Nothing. Now, there may be some wiggle room there for Theta Care or future employers where they're saying, well, this other hospital or healthcare employer actually poached. They came and solicited our employees. They came and recruited our employees. In that light, they may have some ground to stand on. Because if that actually happened, then yeah, something that's not, I can't say if that's illegal or not, but they would definitely have more of a case to argue. But according to the reports, that did not happen. Like I reported yesterday, one employee applied for a job at Ascension. They got the job. They got a better, higher paying, better job offer, and they put in their notice. That information, the other 6 employees, slowly but sure, became aware that this one employee or first employee got this better option, and on their own, they went over to Ascension and applied for the same jobs and were offered opportunities that they felt were better, and they accepted them. So it wasn't, Ascension did not come and recruit or come and poach Theta Care's employees in this, at least according to reports. Okay? But like I said, a couple other points that I wanted to point out here, beyond the fact that what this judge did was insanely illegal with this restraining order, and I'm sure the heat was on his head after this story broke. But one, the lawsuit itself continues. So this was just the issue of the restraining order that was decided on Monday, today. The lawsuit itself continues. So we're going to follow up on this and see what comes out of this. But another thing, like I said, I don't know if they required or just asked some of the employees to submit some testimony. If it was me, that ain't happening. In addition, there's a couple other things that's happening here that you got to read between the lines. First off, one of the things is, I don't know if this has ever happened before, but at least now, currently, with all the staffing shortage and everything that's going on throughout the country, many companies are going to be looking deeply into this issue and this case and what was filed. And they're not going to look at it as, oh, they failed. Because one, the lawsuit itself still continues, so it's not over. Two, the only thing that failed was removed was the restraining order. So then a lot of companies, like I said, they're going to be looking into it and go, okay, how can what adjustments to the lawsuit can we make potentially in the future that would potentially give our lawsuit and potential restraining orders more weight and sticking power. They're going to basically look at this situation as a learning opportunity. They're not going to just look at it and go, well, I guess we can't do that. No, they are going to like, hey, you might be on something here. Just a little tweaking of this or that, framing or reframing, however the statements on the lawsuit were made, we might actually be able to get something that will stick. So don't be surprised you don't hear future stories like this one come out against other at-will employees. Don't sleep on it. Things like this, little failures, they're many people don't look at them as failures, or companies I should say. They look at them as learning opportunities. So y'all let me know what you think. Let's chop it up. Like I said, I knew this would be cleared up and expected it to be cleared up pretty quickly, and at least the restraining order was. But the thing that y'all have to focus on is the last line of this MSN report. The lawsuit itself continues. That's what you have to focus on. And here at One Brothas Mind, what we focus on, we try to focus on offering solutions. So as far as from the worker's perspective, what could be a possible solution to this? Okay. Well, a couple of points. One, do everything you can to never sign a contract for employment. A contract that restricts you or keeps you as an employee for a set period of time. I know a lot of industries have begun instituting those things, so you're going to have to tread carefully and navigate that minefield. But it's never, let me say this, contracts are never in the best interest of the smaller party. I mean, if you have two equal parties and both parties that are equal are mutually benefiting, sure, fine. Maybe that's okay. But anytime there's a contract between a large party and a small party, it's never in the best interest of the small party. It's always more restrictive on the smaller party. Always remember that. Okay? So, family, do everything y'all can to not sign. I know one that I'm familiar with, especially like in the healthcare industry, you got a lot of healthcare students coming out of like medical schools, and especially like with new doctors, young doctors, they sign these. I can't think of the name of them right now, but they sign these contractual agreements where if they work for like 5 years within a low income area throughout the country, if they agree to do that whatever the entity that's creating this contract will then agree to pay off or pay majority of their student loans off. And a lot of medical students have been accepting that contract, and that's all fine and well. But like I said, always remember, any contract between a small party and a large party is never in favor of the small party. So I mean, in that example, I mean, you're basically like giving away 5 years of your life in exchange for potentially having your student loan debt paid off. And some people, some of y'all may say, "Oh, that's a good deal. I ain't got okay." I would argue, why in the heck your medical school tuition was as expensive as it was? That's the hustle. That's the con. That's the first crime. All the amount of money you were charged to attend medical school in the first place. So, to look at it logically, here you are, you getting robbed, criminally robbed, just to attend medical school with how much they're charging, the whole source of your student loan in the first place, all the school, the student loan source, all these people is making crazy money off you. Crazy, I would argue, criminal levels of money off of you. And then your solution is to sign a slavery agreement with a third party that restricts your freedom as the solution. In other words, if you tie in your shoe, I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible, and you have a knot in your shoe laces. Tying another knot is not the solution to get the first knot out. Tying a third knot is not the solution to get the first two knots. But hey, y'all go ahead. Those of y'all, high IQ brothers and sisters, hey, do your thing, man. But I'm just trying to tell y'all, logically, that is not the right approach. In my opinion, One Brothas Mind here. So, miss me with all that. But hey, again, let me know in the comments. Y'all, let's chop it up. But no, fully expect more of these types of lawsuits to be filed in the near future. Okay? Because as I said originally on the first broadcast, slavery never ended, y'all. They just changed a little bit of the wording and enslaved the majority, not just black people. Okay? So, again, please like, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. And this concludes this broadcast from One Brothas Mind. We thank you for joining us. And as a part of the new black media, B1 choices are mandatory. Being on code is required. So never fear. Yeshua the Christ is with you always. Shalom.